How does the decision-making process differ in a small business partnership versus a corporate setting?
When you're in a small business and you're making decisions, there's no one's going to tell you you can or can't do any of those things. There's no one to say, this is, well, you know what, that's great, thanks for your input, and we're going to go discuss that over here. Things just happen. Like, you decide to do something and it happens. Of course, that's not to say that your clients don't have a say in things, but I think there's two parts of the business, right? There's the part that we all knew going into this business, which was creating marketing campaigns that sort of move the needle and break the box and whatever. And we had somewhat of a client structure when we were inside of Yahoo, and we still have that with our clients now. But the other side is what the ideas are, what the how we're going to change the business to do this, to that, or offshoots of the business, different revenue streams. All of those kinds of things are, no one's telling you you can or cannot do that. It's not like, well, let's go and pitch the executives on this idea and we'll see if they'll give us budget for it. No, it's go look at the bank account and decide, do you want to fund this idea? Do we want to actually make that happen?
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference.
How do you come back together at the table to then talk about making that decision?
The decision process with 5 partners, I'll say, it's not the easiest, because you always have at least one person who sort of thinks differently than the other 4 people, or sometimes it's 2 versus 3 or what have you. And sometimes, just to be clear, it's unanimous, yes, we should do this, which is great. But that comes back to the fact that we knew each other, we all know each other, and that we sort of implicitly trust each other's gut, in that if you're opposing this, and you're one of 5 people that are opposing it, there's probably a good reason. But we also know that you can't sit around a table and have a stalemate for too long. And so I think we're very good about hearing what everybody has to say, but then collaboratively making a decision, which means that even the one man out who's going the other way will say, you know what, if you guys all think that, then let's go for it and we'll see how it happens. And, so that trust comes back, and the decision process is sort of like a sit around the table, hash it out, give it an hour, or sometimes it takes longer than that, but we come to a decision. It's very important for us to make sure we come to a decision and not just talk about something and then talk about it on Wednesday and then talk about it next Tuesday again and never really push anything forward, because we don't have that structure of, well, okay, we're cool with this, let's send it to the executive and see what the executive says, will they fund it? Because we're the executives, a lot of times things can just spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and nothing will ever get done.